What's up everyone, we're back. I'm Dr. Shah.
Dr. Maxfield.
Welcome back to our channel, Doctorly, where we talk about all things skincare and a lot of dermatology. Today, we're gonna be going over one of your favorite brands, one of our favorite brands, the best and worst of Skinceuticals.
Right, so this is our series where we take a look at some iconic brands or currently trending brands. This one would fall into the iconic category. And we will highlight some of the products we love because it's an honest review. We will of course highlight some of the products we don't love and let you make the choice which ones are for you. And for this brand in particular, I'll already tease out early on, I think we're gonna have a discount code for you to help you get some of these products into your hands.
Yeah, so either it's gonna be a discount code or you'll be able to purchase something that you love and you'll be able to maybe use a code to get a gift with purchase. So we're gonna try to work with some of the brands going forward to try to either get you discount codes or give you something a little extra for bearing with us and sticking with us through all of these years. So Skinceuticals, is it worth it? What's worth it? Where should you spend your money? What do we love? What do we hate? Here we go.
Here we go.
So what is the history of this iconic brand, Skinceuticals? This was founded in 1997, so this is a really kind of a heritage brand. It's been out now for a long time by Sheldon Pennell, that's their founding scientist. And he did a lot of research in antioxidants. And so that's why one of their first breakthrough products that ever launched was CE Ferulic. And this was a researcher at Duke University, and he had studied the benefits of antioxidants, and he had found that vitamin C was quite powerful on the skin. But the challenge was, how do you stabilize it and how do you actually get it into the skin? And so he did his groundbreaking research, which showed that you could stabilize it with vitamin E and ferulic acid, and that by lowering the pH, it would increase the diffusion into the skin and make it more effective.
Right, and that really was the backbone of this company. And it's pretty incredible though that, what is it, 10, 20, 27 years later, dang. If you're born in 1997, you're 27 years old. Interesting. 27 years later, this vitamin C is still kind of considered the gold standard of vitamin C across the board. That is wild. Now from there, they paired off and they made multiple different products. It's still kind of been one of the poster children for medical grade skincare. It's still kind of anchored to your dermatologist, your plastic surgeons, your med spas. And because of that, like even for me, when I think of medical grade skincare as an idea, I still think of Skinceuticals first. And this is a line that I will carry in the office because people are always looking for this. It is something that people do want and people feel like it brings value to their skin.
Absolutely. So they've done a lot of great research. They do truly great clinical studies on all of their products. You pay a pretty penny in order to make that happen. So they have great research, they have great science. CE Ferulic was their landmark product, but then they came out with tons of other products since. So let's talk about some of our other favorite products. The caveat being with this brand is that it is quite expensive. So you are certainly gonna shell out a good amount of money to purchase any of the products from Skinceuticals. And you have to decide personally whether that's worth it or not to you. We'll be talking about which products we think are worth it, but regardless, these are gonna be still some of the pricier products on the market. They were one of the original quote unquote medical grade physician dispensed skincare lines. In fact, in 2007, I believe it became the largest physician dispensed skincare brand in the United States. And since then, it's now more widely available. So you can buy it on a ton of different websites. You can buy it on the Skinceuticals website. I think they even have it on Amazon, Derm Store, Skin Store. And so you can buy it from your local physician's office. So there's many different distribution points than ever before. And that's why the word medical grade really doesn't have the meaning that it used to have anymore. And they used to focus a lot on dermatologists and plastic surgeons, and they've spread a lot more now into the med spa space than ever before. And so they work a lot with estheticians and other providers as well.
Right, and I think too, there's become more parity in the over-the-counter cosmetic space in general. So not only did they used to be exclusively dispensed through physicians and professionals, there was also a larger gap between that medical grade skincare that you got from the office and then what you could buy at like Target, Walmart, Ulta, Sephora. Now, over the last 4 years, I think we've seen that narrow tremendously in terms of quality. But again, a lot of your cost here, or some of your cost, goes into the research that they've done. If you want a science-backed brand, like they publish a lot and they publish it publicly. meaning that you could actually access the studies yourself.
All right, we'll start with the iconic first. The Skinceuticals CE Ferulic. How much is this costing us nowadays?
I was gonna ask you the same. I think it's 188
something. which is up from when we first started making content. I believe it used to be in the 160s. So we've had about a 10% or greater increase in the price of this product.
182.
$182 for this product.
We'll do the opening honors. They gifted us with these so we could kind of share them with you. This is a new bottle, and I specifically asked for a new bottle of this because I love the color. Like, this embodies like what a vitamin C should look like. It's just gold, it's lightweight. I guess they would call it amber. It's just watery. I love the smell. It's very bready or hot dog watery. But this is like, for me, this is locked in as like the standard of what vitamin C looks, smells, and feels like.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the stronger smelling vitamin C products out there and quite polarizing, but the advantage of that is that it is fragrance free and it is optimized for absorption into the skin, and they do hold a patent on this particular formulation that they have. Now, for me personally, this product doesn't agree well with my skin. I don't know why. I've tried it a million times. My wife loves this product. For me, it just irritates my skin. I even break out sometimes when I use it. So for some people, this is going to be a grail. And this is, if you're intro to the brand and you want to stick with any product that has the most research behind it, then it would be this one. Now, they even have studies that show that this is a really beneficial product post-procedurally, meaning that if you were to get microneedling done or laser done, you could apply this and it would help with healing times. You know, me personally, I find this to be personally an irritating product for me. So I think with a compromised skin barrier, it would be something that would not agree well with my skin. So when I'm treating my patients post-procedurally, I generally use products that are simply just hydrating or protective. So something like a simple mineral-based sunscreen or a simple moisturizer, maybe even Vaseline in some cases. I wouldn't use something that has high potent actives like this with super low pH, because I think it would be quite uncomfortable, even if it does help repair the skin faster.
Right, and that's my thought too. So what I was doing, I wasn't texting, I was actually looking to see if it was an internal study or if it was published. I couldn't find it, so I suspect that it's an internal study that will later be published. A lot of brands will do that, especially ones that are reputable. They get their results, and then it takes, trust me, we've published papers. It takes a long time to actually bring it through the editing process and through the editors and to a journal. So maybe that data will be available in the future, but likewise, over time, as I've matured into this rosacea stage of my life, I can no longer tolerate most vitamin Cs, this one included, even though there's a ton of nostalgia for it with me.
But sticking on that same grain of their vitamin Cs, they have some other options that are available that are not the original, which I think are just as good, if not in some cases better. Next up, you have your Skinceuticals Phloretin CF. This is your vitamin C 10%, but it also has 2% Phloretin and 0.5% ferulic acid. So the additional benefits of the antioxidant Phloretin, which can help with some discoloration and can be a little bit gentler on the skin because it's not that 15%, but instead a 10%. Now, this is a good one. This was one that my chief resident used to love. The one that I actually like is the Silymarin CF. So it's also a 10%, but it has the additional benefit of a little bit of salicylic acid and Silymarin. And Silymarin has actually been shown in studies to be equivalent to hydroquinone in its ability to fade dark spots. And so 1% Silymarin is very similar in efficacy to 4%, I believe, of hydroquinone. And that's the reason why we put Silymarin in our Remedy for Dark Spots product as well.
Staying on the protection side of things, I suppose. This is the Skinceuticals Physical Matte UV Defense Sunscreen. I think this one's actually $40 for 1 fluid ounce. Like, it's very usual to pay $40 for 1 fluid ounce, which seems kind of crazy.
Well, usually sunscreens are 2 fluid ounces for that price. So it would make it double the average.
You sure? They're not 1 fluid ounce, huh? Mm-hmm. Interesting. All right, so it's double the price.
They're usually 2 or 1.7 ounces, to be fair.
Yeah, so, so this is tinted. It is very mattifying. It goes on very nicely. I actually think this is quite nice. I almost do wonder, it's I think strongly mattifying. I don't want to say it will pill, but sometimes I think when I feel this kind of texture, I do wonder about how things are going to layer with it. But overall, this is a very nice sunscreen that if someone's looking for a matte sunscreen, would do very well with your skin tone. The reason I highlighted it is just hard to find matte sunscreen for those with oily skin.
Next up would be on the worst of lists. It's actually not a bad product, and I feel like I'm beating up on it a little bit too much lately. This is the newest launch from Skinceuticals, the P-Tiox, which is the wrinkle modulating peptide serum, which improves the look of contraction lines texture, and radiance. And it's got a great list of ingredients, right? So otherwise, when I'd be evaluating any other product, I would say great list of ingredients. You have peptides like argireline, gluconolactone, I believe, and you have niacinamide, right?
And cynic, the other neuromodulating peptide in this as well.
Right, so you have a combination of peptides. You have denatured alcohol, which can give that stinging sensation to people that a lot of people don't like. But the combination of ingredients is thoughtful, it's useful, and it will help with fine lines and wrinkles. It will also help with texture. So it's gonna do exactly what it says it does. But for this price point, over $100, and this combination of ingredients, you really should get a product that is much less expensive. And we've said in earlier videos when we were reviewing this product that if this product came out 3 or 4 years ago, I would say it's groundbreaking. And Skinceuticals, to me, when they're gonna do a big launch, it's gonna be everywhere. Everybody's gonna be talking about all the derms, all the plastic surgeons. I truly want it to be something I've never seen before. Some study, some combination of ingredients I've never seen, some ingredient maybe I've never seen before. But this combination I've seen in a lot of other products, and I've seen them for a lot less expensive. And so to me, this is too little, too late.
Interesting. Yeah, you are very hard on this product because of the timing of it. And I think it's fairly reasonable because, again, that combination of neuropeptides really is I think in my opinion, the biggest benefit here. It's aesthetically, it's very, very nice. If you were to use this is something that in theory could prolong your Botox. Topically, it can mimic some of those same Botox effects based off of the mechanism of those two peptides. Is this something you have to have? Not necessarily, because right now, at this point in time, there are already alternatives. I guess it's my turn to pick one. So I'm gonna go with this one, the Phyto Corrective Essence Mist. This is a dirty dog, as Shah has said before.
I've never said that combination of words.
You say it all the time. This has been positioned as a hyaluronic acid spray. Anecdotally, an N of 1, I've had no worse reaction to any product than this. So it does have a 6% plus percentage of hyaluronic acid and glycerin. Then it has this phytobotanical blend, which Phyto probably should set off red flags, honestly, as a consumer standpoint. Third ingredient is propylene glycol. That was an allergen of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Then we also have grapefruit extract, citrus extract, linalool, thyme leaf extract, parfum or fragrance. Like, this is not like your standard HA serum. This is an experiential HA serum where, yes, it has antioxidants. Yes, it's like, I don't even know. Let's do it this way. That's a good diffuser. But this is much more. I feel like for me, this was very allergenic and can be irritating. And I think because of the complete ingredient profile, it also can be very irritating for many people. If you're looking for something hydrating, I just go with a simple HA glycerin combination. That's pretty much every hyaluronic acid product out there, and they're all very affordable.
So this is a cocktail of allergens that you don't need on your skin, especially post-procedurally, which they try to position it in that way. Now, it is an experience, so there are a lot of other experienced sprays out there, like the Caudalie Mist, a beautiful spray, great experience. But this doesn't fall into the category of something that's going to be hydrating or reparative to the skin, and it's something that we would avoid. Next up, I have a beef. I have a beef to pick with this particular product.
Not how that goes.
I have a bone to pick with this particular product. This is the Skinceuticals Triple Lipid Restore 242. What does the 242 refer to? 2% ceramides, 4% cholesterol, and 2% fatty acids. And they call this an anti-aging lipid blend. And it truly is, from an experience standpoint and from a moisturizing standpoint, one of the best moisturizers that's ever been created. And this blend of moisturizing ingredients is very similar to what we see in the natural skin barrier. So there is a ratio of fatty acids to cholesterol that we normally see in the skin, and this product is meant to replicate the natural healthy skin barrier. And it's quite expensive, this product, and you don't get much for that. You get 1.6 fluid ounces, the product's over $100. My mother-in-law loves this product. A lot of people who use this product love this product. The trouble with this product is that it would have been perfect had they not added fragrances to this product. If they had just made this a fragrance-free product, I would say it's one of the better products out there. The two qualms I have with it is, one, the price point for a moisturizer, and the fact that you took this great blend of restorative lipids and you mixed it in with fragrances.
Yeah, so if I had to pick fragrance, I would pick it in any other step than a moisturizer. And here's why. Ooh, I like that smell. But regardless, moisturizers are there to help heal dry and damaged skin. Like that's vulnerable skin. That's their job. And so when you add something like fragrance to it, that inherently is irritating and a potential allergen. And so it kind of works against the primary purpose of the product. However, I will qualify that with many people. And oftentimes it's like not our key demographic, to be honest. People really love a fragrant moisturizer. Sometimes a very rich, deep fragrant moisturizer, like the Midnight Cream from L'Oreal Paris. But there's a whole generation of people that absolutely want that experience, and this would do well for them. It is a very rich moisturizer, though, I will give it that.
Experientially phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Okay. I love it. I'm actually surprised I put it on my own face. Let me read you this cocktail of allergens. First up, lavender oil. Second up, rosemary leaf oil. Third up, peppermint oil. Fourth up, linalool. Fifth up, limonene, right? And so you might look at the back of this and you say, well, there's no fragrance in this product. But those are all fragrances. So that's essential oils. And most fragrance mixes contain limonene and linalool. And these are some of the most common allergens that we find in skincare products. So if they came out with a fragrance-free version of this, I would be a huge fan of it. Please do that.
That would be wonderful. I'm gonna double down on something though. I really think, so let's say you are of the type, and like I'm not trying to typify, but really it's like the maturing skincare, mature woman population that generally likes this type of product. Like I just know that from the analytics, from the brands, who they're targeting based off of their demographics, you will probably love this. Assuming your skin does fine with those ingredients, I really do think this is a product you will absolutely love. So I'm just throwing that out there. This could be the product for someone.
All right, and next up, this is a product we've actually talked about before. I don't know if you remember this, but quite a while ago, because dark spots has always been a focus of mine. It's been a focus of my family. It's been a focus of mine personally. It's also been just something that I see a lot in my patients. And so this is the groundbreaking Skinceuticals Discoloration Defense. So they call this a multi-phase serum that targets the visible discoloration for brighter looking skin. So I like the fact that they say multi-phase serum. And I assume what they mean by that is it targets dark spots at multiple phases in their creation and formation and deposition, which is really important to treating dark spots. And so this does contain a combination of ingredients that are actually quite nice. So you have niacinamide, which we know is very helpful. Sulfonic acid, which is, I believe it's unique to L'Oreal to help with discoloration. You have tranexamic acid, which also has been shown to be beneficial, especially the oral form of tranexamic acid. Now, some will make the argument that tranexamic acid, I believe Lab Muffin Beauty has a video about this, about whether or not, based on its molecular structure, it's able to penetrate the skin. I think the clinical studies show that it's helpful, but I think it's debatable in the air whether or not its penetration is as good as it needs to be. Then kojic acid, which is a great brightening and lightening ingredient. So a good combination. But most of these ingredients, in fact, all of the ingredients that they mentioned here are ingredients that truly help more in the creation and transfer of pigment in the skin. So once pigment's already deposited, it doesn't really have any ingredients that remove existing pigment. So this is truly more a preventative measure for dark spots.
One of the most important things in treating dark spots is you need to reactively come behind and remove the pigment that's there. So that really is where the exfoliators shine. Now, when did this product come out?
I think it's like 2007 or
So I would say that 2007, this is it. Like this is the bee's knees, as the kids used to say back then. That's a solid lineup, but I think again, as time has moved, then we have products like, I don't want to say, but like Remedy for Dark Spots, like there are things that exist now that target all of the steps in comprehensive ways of preventing pigment production, preventing the transfer, and removing and exfoliating the existing pigment. And I think meaningfully you'll have an appreciable difference comparing something like that. Even with something like this, this is a great serum. I'm not saying it's not, but it has aged a bit.
I used to recommend this quite a bit when I first started residency. It is pricey, over $100 for a dark spot corrective serum. Now, of course, we have Remedy for Dark Spots, which contains actually all of these ingredients plus more. There's also a lot of other brands out there that also have similar cocktails that have more than this at a much less expensive price, like Faded by Topicals. And so I do think that now in the market, you can get things that are comparable, if not better, at a much lower price point than this one from Skinceuticals.
So this one is of particular importance to me now. This is the Redness Neutralizer. And what's in this one?
So you have your hydrating, squalene and glycerin. You have your shea butter, which again is moisturizing. You have bisobolol, which is calming and soothing. You have caffeine, which helps to constrict the blood vessels. You have a couple of different types of peptides that help to boost the skin barrier. From a redness standpoint though, I'm not sure that there's anything particular for redness.
They attribute that in part to like the complementing ingredients, the biomimetic peptides complex. But really, if you just take a step back at a bird's eye view here, that's a great list of ingredients that all work together towards a common goal. Like if I expect to build something that's gonna calm and soothe, that list is stellar. And I don't know if you've noticed this since we've been together. I have not put a product on my face this whole session of shooting YouTube videos. This is the first product I'm going to apply just because I'm on this tail end of like a really resistant rosacea flare and I just don't want to take a step back. I'm being selfish right now, but I do expect this is going to sit nicely, play well with my skin, and it feels like it should.
Right, so it has all the calming and soothing ingredients. It's fragrance free. It doesn't have really common allergens or irritants in it. So great for redness skin. I would say it's always a leap with any over-the-counter product to help with redness. I just believe that in that category, most of the products overpromise and under-deliver on the redness component. So redness is a major concern of mine, so I try out a lot of these redness products, and at best they're calming and soothing temporarily, but even the prescription products don't do great in this category. You have some things like oxymetolazine, which can actually constrict the blood vessels for like 12 hours at a time. But otherwise, you don't really have a ton of ingredients that are really great with redness, because a lot of times this has to do with flushing or dilated blood vessels, and skincare products just don't really help too much in this category. Now, luckily this has caffeine, which can have some mild benefits in this way. But if you're expecting profound results with your redness, I do think that lasers are gonna way outperform in this category. And on top of that, a green tinted makeup or sunscreen is a beneficial way to mask any redness. And so Dr. Jart is sort of the leader in this category. I believe La Roche-Posay has some products in this category. And I know of one other brand, I can't mention it now, that's launching a product in that category. Not Remedy, by the way. But there is some stuff in the works from some of the brands I work with.
Nice. So I think it's actually a very important distinction. The redness that this will treat, I'm gonna frame it this way. There are two types of redness. There is the transient or intermittent redness that comes up when your skin is acutely injured. It gets red, flushed, your skin barrier is dry, flaky, and it'll fade away as your skin heals over time. Then you have a persistent redness. This is a red hue at baseline. This is like the flushed cheeks of rosacea that never goes away. Completely different pathophysiology. At that point, when it's persistent, it's a structural change. Those blood vessels are permanently dilated, and really no topical, barring the prescription oxymetolazone, will make a difference. This product is tailored for that acute redness, that current new change in your skin that's a result of some sort of damage that you can help alleviate. It's not for that permanent redness. And that's pretty much every redness product out there, barring camouflage.
And then finally is this Phyto Corrective Gel, this complexion calming gel, they say. And this is green. It falls in line with this other spray that Dr. Maxfield wasn't a huge fan of. But I do think when you see the word phyto, it sort of indicates that there's some type of plant derivation that's occurring here. These tend to contain botanicals, and some botanicals do have calming and soothing properties. And if you followed us for long enough, you kind of know that I'm actually not anti-natural. In fact, I probably lean a little bit more into the natural universe than Dr. Maxfield even does. I have this like ode to nature where I believe that there's some like ancient wisdom that occurs from old botanicals that we can still extract value from. But when you see the word phyto, generally means you're going to see a lot of plant extracts, and those plant extracts tend to be essential oils, and those essential oils tend to be irritating and allergenic to the skin. So this product contains fragrance, it contains citrus grapefruit extract, it contains thymus extract, it contains thyme flower, eucalyptus, benzyl alcohol, which is a fragrant preservative alcohol, and linalool and citronellal, and on and on and on and on and on. It kind of reminds me of some of the products from Kiehl's, where I love a lot of the products from Kiehl's, but then they have this whole range of like oils that are just like essentially allergens in a bottle. This is where you get into this Phyto line where you start to get in trouble here.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, the whole Phyto line, I would personally avoid. I don't really know who it's specifically for, like who I would recommend it to, but Phyto line for me is a no. In summation, this is an iconic brand where a lot of dermatologists' mind will go first when you think of like quality skincare. And the reason is it's justified often by the research that backs it. That's all extremely valid. It is also extremely expensive. So take everything we've said through that lens, let's say. Our highlights here, we have the vitamin CEF as the staple. We have the Silymarin vitamin C as an amazing alternative for dark spots because of the skin lightening properties. We have the redness, great for soothing skin. And I think those would be the top highlights of the line.
The sunscreen, mattifying sunscreen to absorb oil is a really good option. Ooh. And I would still say the Triple Lipid Restore 242, had it not been for some of the fragrant allergens or the essential oil allergens in this, is still a great moisturizer. So it just falls slightly short because of those things, but it is a well-formulated product in general. I want to say one thing about pricing. I have to say one thing about pricing here. So it is not expensive to create a Skinceuticals CE Ferulic. Like this combination of ingredients, right? Like when you talk about the raw ingredients and this packaging in particular, it is not expensive to create this product, each unit that they make. It does not cost them $180 to create this product. And the research is what a lot of times we use to validate the expense behind the product, which makes sense because people need to be compensated for their time. That being said, when you amortize the research over the amount of units that they sell, right? Let's say that they spent $1 million on research. I promise you they sell more than 1 million bottles a year, right? And that $1 million a year, if you amortize it over all the products, it should not cost more than $1 extra, right? Because it would be $1 per bottle would be the R&D cost. So I would say, though I do think that brands that spend a lot of money on research should be compensated for that because we need to encourage these people to do these studies. It shouldn't justify these outsized prices for products because people want better skin and are willing to pay for it. I feel like that does a disservice to people who can't afford to spend that kind of money and don't have access to these products because there is some profit gouging that's occurring.
Yeah, you know what this kind of reminds me of? So here's your metaphor. Have you ever driven over a toll bridge? Have you ever seen a toll road go up? It's a new road. The government tells you, hey, we can't fund this, so you have to, but we need a road. So you need to pay us while you drive over this road. You drive over the road the first 5 years, you're like, okay, you know, $2 here, $2 the next mile, $2 the next mile. 10 years down the road, you're like, I wonder if they've paid off the cost of building this bridge yet. 20 years later, you are certain that they have paid it off and are now just collecting. So I wonder if there's a scenario, this is never gonna happen, where you get your money back on the back end, the research, and then you're like, hey, we made it up, so now we're gonna deeply discount this product for the rest of eternity. In theory, that would be acceptable, but it's never gonna happen.
So it's gonna actually continue to go up, I promise you. So overall, Skinceuticals does incredible research in the field. You can see all the studies they do, the before and after imagery that they do with high-tech devices. Skinceuticals essentially is a trailblazer in skincare. So they kind of set the standards that a lot of brands afterwards followed, especially the clinical skincare brands. And so we have to give them credit for essentially setting the stage for this space, because if they weren't brands like this doing this level of research, you would probably have a lot of garbage out there. But because they started with these clinical studies showing how to make products more effective, how to make sure that they penetrate the skin, and the different use case scenarios for these products, they really paved the way for the rest of the brands that came after them. So definitely shout out to Skinceuticals. They still have some great products that I truly love, that I continue to recommend to my patients, and will continue to just stand the test of time. Would love to see more innovation actually now from Skinceuticals. I would like you to again lead the pack with that money to get ahead of everybody else to create new products, new ingredients, new combinations that are truly groundbreaking.
I agree. So like, yeah, Skinceuticals, a leader in the space, I would say still, brand I love. And I actually kind of go to bat for them almost more than any other medical grade skincare because of the research behind them. Like they have to be, the CEF has to be like the most duped product in history, because you just come behind something good, steal the idea, make it cheaper because you didn't do the legwork. So there's something about me that like is kind of defensive and protective over Skinceuticals because of that whole scenario. But anyway, a brand we overall love. If you want to check it out, hopefully, actually, I know we have some discounts or gifts with purchase below. Check out those links. Let us know also, sorry, I'm like thinking as I go. Also, let us know what brands you want us to review in the future. We definitely want to see your comments and your thoughts on that as well. Appreciate you. We already ended this about 2 minutes ago, so we will see you next time.
Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.